legacy and the strong philosophy. What does strong strive to reach optimal new goals means to each of you? And what legacy do you hope to leave for the next generation of martial artists in Harvey Bay? Do you want to go first, Brother Mick?
Yeah, well, you know, striving to reach optimal new goals, digging deep within yourself for inner strength and courage and heartfelt determination, resilience, all these qualities that as human beings, to me, that's really what a true warrior really is. We go through different phases of our life and nothing's more important than anything else. So just sections of your life as it progresses forward. So we needed to the fighting. That's why I still support the teenagers and that have aspirations to want to get in the ring and to have a fight. Even if a little bit of it initially is can be slightly ego driven, or they wanting to prove themselves or get recognition. That's very normal, and it can be part of a phase of maturation where the individual gets in there and then they are transformed through the experience. So I think to dig deep and to be a true warrior, I always think, have the courage to follow your heart. I think the heart, there's an old saying that says the heart is the place that we must daily face, for it is there that we find ourself. Our true authenticity is connected to our heart. So this is a big part of the integrated journey and the integrated chi yoga and everything we do. It's about providing opportunities for people to come in at all different stages of their journey for all different intentions, and to activate that part within themselves to connect with their heart and to feel the power of the heart and their higher self, and bring that uplift that to the forefront of their life, and let that propel them forward into the future so they can actualize their full potential as a human being, and to see things like humility and kindness and compassion. These things are actually qualities of what it means to be a warrior, as well as being a good physical fighter. So I really think that's what's striving, digging deep to access that power within yourself, the power that's connected to the infinite heart of the universe, I could call it. A lot of people have different names for that, but it's the same source, same power, and we're all equally connected to it. So I think that's what strong, that would be the legacy that I can help people to come into contact with that within themselves, so they can grow to become the best version, most empowered version of themselves humanly possible, and to be happy, to have a lot of inner peace, to have that sense of empowerment and freedom inside themselves. That's what I really want to seed that within everybody that I have the chance to support and encourage.
It's really lovely, brother. That is exactly the type of things we want to create. What about you, brother Tony?
Yeah, so um, you know, I always speak to people about just being the best version of you can be, and the way to do that is continually challenge yourself mentally, physically, or spiritually. Whatever order the universe gives you, whatever order, it doesn't matter. There's a time when you need balance, and the universe will start directing you to which of those ones you need work on. But it's funny, like I never used to be the one to speak about the heart connections and the universe and this and that, but it's incredible the way the world works, and the way like Mick and my path, because many years I used to describe Mick and I as like yin yang, always joined and on the same journey, complementing each other. But as we grew older, we sort of went off on our individual paths, and we had some conflicting views on things. And it's interesting that like I always watched Mick from my path in life, and could see that he was so much more spiritually mature and less self-serving, and always admired it so much. And it's interesting the way things happen, because much of to get back to what Mick was saying, with the physical path, is still a path that must be traveled if that's your calling. And that's where I was, with more ego-driven, sort of self-fulfilling, physical journey going on. But interestingly, when I retired from my involvement in martial arts only a few years ago, I had finally reached that point where I sat back in my chair and was proud and everything that I'd done, and thought I'd done it all. And I'd openly tell people if I died tomorrow, I'd have no regrets. I've lived a blessed life and this and that. And that's, it's like I finally had to reach that point where physically I was, content, because it was only through that retirement and letting go of that, for me, that I finally had an awakening of sorts. And it brought me about, it sort of reinvented myself and exploring the spiritual side of existence. And what it did was allow me to fully understand my brother's path a lot more, and since that development, it's probably been the closest we have since we've been since we were little 5-year-old kids, inseparable. So now I find myself meditating daily, doing breath work, exploring consciousness, getting into quantum physics, how it connects science with metaphysical. And like, to me, it's like a whole entire world where I never once do I say if I died tomorrow I'd be happy or content, because I now feel like I could live 3 more lifetimes just exploring that side of the truth of what we are. So, weekly I'm doing yoga, sitting in the cage with Mick and a few other, yoga practitioners, doing chi energy, instead of boxing each other's ears in. We're sitting there with candles and beautiful music going, and so it's been an incredible journey. So now I'm on my little spiritual journey. It's the right time for me, and I'm feeling just revitalized through it. As far as legacies, you spoke about what sort of legacy. I just like to continue to be, when I'm long gone, I'd like people, to be able to hear my voice in their head, reminding them that if you put 100% into life, that regardless of wins and losses, that you'll always be more than good enough. All I ever said to me kids is, you do your best and it will always be good enough. So I think if people remember that, and getting back to what Mick mentioned, one of the biggest things that I know the truth of, as far as the true power of it, is to, at any time where you got big decisions or you're a bit confused, before you go to sleep, you ask your heart, not your head, for the information, for the guidance, because as Mick said, it's your heart that will lead you to where you need to be. There's so much craziness in the world, going on in your head, online stuff, news, this, that, and the next thing, that the only place you can really trust information from is if you ask your heart. And I can tell you that it will answer, it will help you. I've learned our physical life is just a brief gift of experience, and our only job why we're here is to strive to become a better human each day. So if I've got a final message, if you can not feel terrible guilt and beat yourself up about your mistakes or your shortfalls in life. If every day you forgive yourself and you actively work to become a better person, you've done your job and you'll turn out okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a very beautiful message there, brother. And yeah, like there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise in the head. Yeah, it's a very good example. Very good advice to follow your heart sometimes. Just the brain has got too many different things, distractions going on. The legion is sometimes different path. But no, thank you very much, Mick and Tony. Thanks for sharing your journey and wisdom. Your example shows that mentorship, discipline, and consistent effort have the power to shape stronger individuals and stronger communities. Your story is a reminder that martial art is not just about fighting, it's about guiding others to believe in themselves and rise above their challenges. To our listeners, stay committed, stay focused, and keep striving to reach the optimal new goals. This is the Strong Legacy podcast, where every story strengthens the next.